Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about the situation in New Orleans in Louisiana. So there has been an intrusion of salt water because of the drought that's intruding the Mississippi River, and I discussed this on my last live, and now I will go into even more detail. An October saltwater intrusion could threaten drinking water in New Orleans, so they'll barge in 36 million gallons of fresh water a day. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is planning to barge 36 million gallons of fresh water daily into lower Mississippi River, near New Orleans, as expected saltwater intrusion from the Gulf of Mexico in October threatens the area's drinking water supply. Officials said Friday. The move comes as water levels are plummeting for the second consecutive year after this summer's blistering heat and low rainfall triggered extreme drought over parts of the central U.S. As water levels drop, the threat of saltwater intrusion grows in Louisiana as ocean water pushes north into drinking water systems, unimpeded by the Mississippi's normally mighty flow rate. New Orleans officials anticipate the city will see the effects of saltwater intrusion in late October, according to a Friday news release from the mayor's office. Please note that this timeline is subject to change, and the city will keep the public informed as the timeline is updated, the release stated. The Mississippi River is forecast to reach historic lows over the next several weeks, Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards said during a Friday news conference. To help mitigate intrusion, the state and the Army Corps of Engineers are working to add 25 feet of height to a 1,500-foot wide underwater levee in Mississippi, in the Mississippi River, which was constructed in July to slow the saltwater's progression. Army Colin Jones said. The Corps also plans to barge millions of gallons of water daily to local water treatment facilities, Jones said during the news conference. The Corps announced the plan to build the levee last year. It involved dredging sediment from the bottom of the river and pile it up to create what's known as a sill, which acts as a dam for the denser saltwater in the lower levels of the river. Typically, enough rainfall upstream helps ease drought conditions and keeps the saltwater at bay. However, during the news conference Friday, the governor said officials don't believe that there is sufficient precipitation in the near term anywhere along the Mississippi River to materially change conditions for the better. Unfortunately, we just haven't had relief from the dry conditions that we need, so the inclusion is worsening, Edwards said. State to deliver bottled water in bulk to New Orleans. And this is a very frightening thing, because the water supply is very important, obviously, and it's good that people stock up, but to not panic, because a lot of people are panicking and it's not necessary, and we'll see what happens, and it's always good to stay calm. Jones said it will take approximately 24 days to add to the sill. Once augmented, it will delay saltwater intrusion by 10 to 15 days, he said. 15 million gallons of fresh water is expected to be brought in as soon as the next week, Jones said, adding the area will need 36 million gallons per day to help mitigate the problem. The water will be added to at treatment centers this and create a mixture safe for treatment, Jones added. The governor also announced plans to deliver bottled water in bulk to New Orleans area. New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell signed an emergency declaration for the city on Friday due to saltwater intrusion. The declaration allows city agencies to prepare and respond to any impacts and allows the state and federal agencies to deploy resources as needed for a more streamlined process, the city said. Last week, Plaquemines Parish President W. Keith Hinckley said at a news conference clean water was being distributed to around 2,000 residents who were affected by the saltwater intrusion. It was not necessary to buy large amounts of bottled water, Edwards said Friday. There is not a shortage of bottled water around the state or around the country, and our businesses are going to be able to bring in water as needed, he said. Yes, and I think that it's best not to panic buy things, just like a couple of years ago, people panic bought toilet paper. And people should stock up on supplies for hurricanes or anything regardless. But people should not panic, and people should also understand that the government and the different groups are coming in, like the city and the state as well, to help in this crisis. And I was thinking about it, and it was likely that they were going to do something with the water, and that is what it is, because I remember during the Hurricane Ida, they reconnected the electrical lines to some other area because the other side collapsed in the water. So, because relief is provided during hurricanes, so I assume that they're going to provide relief in this situation. So that is what's going on in Louisiana, and I'm glad that I went live about this last time. And if y'all have any thoughts or opinions, feel free to comment below. Thank you.